Okay. So anyway, I'll just show that for the top for Nate real quick. And then anyway, back down to the bottom here. Common mistakes, definitely D. The cube root of 27 is 3. Cube root of x to the third is x. And then remember, square it, multiply the 2, square it. That's your pattern. Square it, multiply the 2, square it. The rest of it, I think people did pretty well with. And one thing, I did not realize this. It sounds like some teachers don't let you make changes to the test. Not changes, but corrections. As I'm going through a test, I think you need to be putting down the right answers. Okay? And it is now your test that you can use for your review for what may or may not be a final at the end. So definitely I would consider that the behavior of a good student is to make any corrections as we go through this. Okay? Kind of got on a class earlier and they're like, wait a minute, we usually can't do this. I'm like, really? Okay. Okay. Everybody, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just didn't realize it. So, okay. But otherwise, I think our factoring is fairly good. Excuse me. I'll just leave this here for just a second in case people want to write some things down. No school Wednesday for you guys. Probably get up around 11, maybe.
Now we have football practice.
Oh, good. Oh, that's right. And you got to be done by 10 so he can be here for. I got to run. What?
He did have a schedule for 5:45, but he changed it.
Yep. They probably wanted him to be at conferences. Understandable. What?
We still have to go to 17.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then I have to be here to translate.
To translate? Translate for who?
Elementary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't allow us to translate for high school.
Oh, okay.
Because since we're friends with some people, we might say other stuff that the teacher didn't say.
Oh, okay.
So we translate for.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. Huh. You learn something every day. Cool. I think that would be when I watch translators when they're speaking but still listening, boy, that would be hard. It's not like the speaker waits for you to tell the person what the translation is. So you've kind of got to be speaking and listening at the same time. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Boy, that would be tough. That'd be really tough. Okay, going to the backside. Tons of different places to make mistakes. I found myself making a couple mistakes here and there. But I did circle where your issues were. This one, you just got to factor out the 3x squared, factor out the 6x, your 2x minus 5's cancel, and then you can simplify what's left. This one, flip, square everything, and then everything cancels away. Most common thing, people forgot the 9 that was hanging out there waiting. Okay? C was just kind of just a whole lot of cluster of ugly. I went ahead and rewrote this in order, pulled out a negative, and then I factored them. So you can see my factored forms here, and then I just canceled from there. So I'm going to leave that there for just a second if you struggle with that one. And I will post this, so if you want to look back at it some more, you definitely can. D. Had to multiply top and bottom of the first one by x minus 5, multiply top and bottom of the second one by x minus 3. And then you get this 2x squared minus 10x minus 3x plus 9. And then you get to that. So most people knew exactly what to multiply both terms by, but either got it right or maybe tripped up just a little bit on a negative here or there. That one wasn't terribly missed. Okay, E. Had to multiply. Well, first of all, I factored this, so I see it's made up of 4x plus 1 and x plus 2. So I'm missing an x plus 2. Had to multiply top and bottom of that first one by x plus 2, and then I just carefully did this, and then it does factor, and my x plus 2's cancel. On F, you had to multiply this negative 3 by top and bottom by x minus 5. Some people forgot the negative. Multiply this 6 by x minus 5. And then you get these, and it just boils down to negative 3x plus 10 over 6x minus 20, which if you take a negative 3 out and a 2 out, or take a, I'm sorry, the top you can't take anything out, but the bottom you can take a negative 2 out, and you can go from there. Only had one person get the first bonus right. Raise your hand nice and high if you got the first bonus right. Okay. So this one, to solve something like this, you just cross multiply. You take 7 times this, gives me 7x plus 14. 4 times this gives me 4y minus 16. And then you solve it, you get y equals negative 10. There are other different theoretical ways to do that, but if you have a single expression on the left, single expression on the right, cross multiply and solve. Okay. I liked you guys' response on the what's the most difficult thing you've done. I'm a big believer that what is difficult is defined, what you think is difficult is defined by what you've done. And the harder things you do, the easier the rest of your life is going to be. It's going to seem easier because you're like, this is nothing. I've done such and such and such and such. Okay? So I think, especially, I know not everybody's an athlete, but I think that does a lot to redefine what's hard, or whatever you're doing. Challenge yourself with difficult things, because from there, everything's going to be a lot easier. Going to seem a lot easier because you're like, I've done that and it was really difficult. I broke mine down into 2 different things. I did a physical thing and a mental thing. Physically, I built a house for my in-laws back in 2002 and 2003 when I was working full-time, working full-time construction or working full-time teaching. So in the evenings, I'd come home and work till 8:30 or 9. Weekends, I'd put in 15, 16 hours, and that was hard, but so worth it. So worth it. The first time I've built a house before, so it was a good challenge. Mentally, the most difficult thing I've had to deal with is just when my wife has multiple sclerosis. That's been a challenge to deal with, and that's the way it goes. You have to deal with difficult things, and that's okay. Okay. Retake by Friday. No, that's not right. That's a different class. No, I haven't said retakes for these because this is a college level class. If you're concerned about grade, come talk to me. Okay? And I still have yet to do that for one student that they handed in some stuff to. Anyway, I'll take care of it. I haven't forgotten. Okay. Let's go. Let's get this done. I've got 4 problems to do. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to show you the answers. Actually, this is the answers and work from from the last assignment. I thought there was enough fine points here that you might have some difficulty on some things. So I went ahead and worked it out myself. I would like, if you guys got one wrong and weren't quite sure why you got it wrong or something, you can take a minute or two and look at this. I'm just going to go ahead and I'll go like a couple minutes for the top half, a couple minutes for the bottom half, and then we'll move on. Okay? Kind of seems like we got some people making some adjustments or things are going to get better. So if you're not quite sure what I did on a certain problem, by all means, let me know. How'd the assignment go? Okay.
Say how these go.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Good.
And you can always take a picture of this a little bit later, too, if you want.
Mr. Richard,
Yeah.
do you think that the tests or quizzes will be like any bigger than that, or is that kind of just standard?
That's pretty standard.
Okay.
That's pretty standard. As far as value, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because actually that one is out of 60, and your first one was out of 40. This one out of 60, I multiplied it by 0.7 on the calculations, so it was only worth out of 42.
Oh.
So it was about the same value as your first one. And I'll try and keep them all about the same.
Okay.
Unless they cover more sections or less sections, then I usually modify it and stretch it a little bit. Okay. So yeah, this one was basically the same value as the last one. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Yeah, this grade program that you guys have here is really pretty good, and it allows me to make some stretches and some modifications and change the weights of things pretty nicely. And I've done the math, and it all seems to be working pretty well. Okay, I'm going to let this go for now. If you guys want to take a picture of this a little bit later on, if in your homework time, if you want to ask me about a certain question, you can. Let's go ahead. Like I said, I have 4 problems to do. I'd say moderate to medium difficulty. First thing, we need to remember how to solve an absolute value. Okay? An absolute value is either going to stay positive or it's going to make it positive. Okay? So let me just cover this up. If I said what's inside the absolute value has an absolute value of 5, what could my finger be covering up? What value? What could it be? -5 or 5. Okay, good. Yeah, 5 or -5. So basically, that's all we're going to do is we're going to say, well, for this to be true, x plus 3 either equals 5 or x plus 3 equals -5. Okay? Very straightforward. X equals 2, x equals -8. Okay? And technically, those are the 2 values that are 5 units from -3. But I don't know if that'll kind of come into play. But that one, just take what's inside, set it equal to 5 and equal to -5, and you got it. Okay? But here's what I really want to work on today. If I have something like 2L plus 2W equals P. Anybody remember what that's the formula for? Perimeter of? A rectangle. Okay, good. So we need to be able to solve these things for different values or different variables. So I'd like to get L by itself. Okay? So this question is kind of just asking what the L. They want to know what L is. Okay? So what should I do to get L by itself? Okay, this thing doesn't have an L in it, so I'm going to subtract it away. I'm going to move it to the other side. 2L equals P minus 2W. Now what? Divide by 2. Perfect. So then I just have L equals P minus 2W over 2, which if I wanted to simplify it, you wouldn't have to. It would be P over 2 minus W. Because the P's got to be divided by 2, and the 2W over 2, 2's cancel. Okay? So the deal is, if it's plus, and it doesn't have the variable we want to isolate, subtract it over. And just peel those layers. Get things a little bit more by itself. Okay. 2 more. XY minus Z equals YZ. Okay? Let's blow this up. I want to solve for Y. We've actually done this before, but in a little bit different format. Okay? So I got this term has Y's, this term has Y's. So I need to collect these together, get all the Y's to one side, and everything that doesn't have a Y to the other side. So I'm going to make this my Y side. And let's get this Z out of here at the same time. So that cancels. And then these cancel. I'm just left with Z. So that's just basically just moving stuff around. You guys have been moving stuff around for quite a while, so I would like to think that wouldn't be that big a deal. So now, do you remember what we got to do to get Y by itself here? I need to rewrite it so there's only one Y. How can I do that? Factor it out. Now, if I factor it out, I'm left with x minus z equals z. I know this is really abstract, but the bottom line is I got to get all my y's collected together and then find a way to write it with just one of them. Now what do? Divide by x minus z. We did that a little bit when we were finding inverses. Nope. Okay. So collect them if you have to. If there's 2 terms and it's multiplication, pull it out. And then you can go from there. Okay. Now, the one that's going to seem the most brutal, but it's not that bad, is going to be this one. This is the final problem for today. I'm going to solve for V2. Oh, yeah, it might help if you could see it. I'm such an awesome teacher. Okay. Anybody know what this equation's about? Pressure, volume, and no, not time, temperature. Okay? Deals with Boyle's law. Boyle's law dealing with, you have a pressure and volume and constant and all that good stuff. I need to get V2 by itself. So V2's up here. So we can actually do a couple different things. I'm going to let you guys make recommendations. Times by T2. There you go. We could do that. Let's multiply both sides by T2. So we're peeling off those layers. So now I've got T2, P1, V1, T1 equals P2, V2. We're almost there. This is not as difficult as I thought it might be. Now what? Divide by what? Yeah, divide by a piece of 2. Now, how do we do that? Well, we're just going to go ahead and throw it on the bottom. Because the same as multiplying both sides by 1 over piece of 2. So even though there's 1,000 different variables here, just think about it. How do I get rid of this? Multiply. How do I get rid of this? Divide. And then it's not going to be as bad if you just focus on your inverse operations and get everything to cancel. Okay. Here we go. Practice, practice. Let me step away. Maybe I need to lighten that up a little bit. There you go. So 35 through 41 is just some more of the challenging solvings with the rational ones. So you don't totally forget what we did last Friday. 47 through, is that 57 or 51? I don't know. I think it's a 57. Let me see. Yeah, 57. So those are absolute value problems. You'll be able to smoke through those like really quick. Set it equal to positive, set it equal to negative, solve